We can look around and it is clear to see that there are many issues we are currently dealing with in the 21st century. We have created these issues over time, and the world we live in is being taken over by the problems we have worsened throughout our years of humanity. There is not one issue that we can fix that will save the whole earth, but we can start by restoring our environment. Over time, our environment has gotten worse and worse, from cutting down trees and leading to various types of endangered species. The world we know of is being taken over by the actions of takers, who can be described of as people who believe man was destined to rule the earth. The leavers of society are the complete opposite of takers, and the society we live in today has a very little amount of leavers, leaving the takers to rule our planet. As Ishmael quotes, the premise of the taker story is, the world belongs to man. The premise of the leaver story is, man belongs to the world. Something has to be done, and to make our planet a better place in the 21st century, we must try to help our environment, which we have damaged over the years, and we can start by restoring forests. Restoring forests will help endangered animals and will enhance our water supply, and we can make this possible by leaving dead trees to rot and enrich our soil system to help new trees grow, drastically reducing the cutting down of trees, and by planting new growth. There are several benefits to restoring our forests, but there is one that will benefit not only the wildlife and soil in the forest, but it will also improve our water systems. The restoration of forests has been sought for years, considering all of the environmental benefits it would give us. Biologists have not only been researching the benefits of restoring forests for over 15 years, but they have also been gathering research to be able to make this possible. Groups such as the Coalition for the Upper South Plateau have been working on helping our environment for years, starting with regrowing back old forests that we as humans have torn down over time. In research and review, forest standing for forest restoration, there are many factors that go into this idea of restoring our forests, and it will take time to do. This article also talks about specific beneficiary factors of regrowing trees. Not only will it enhance wildlife, but it will also help our water system. If we leave dead trees to rot and help fertilize the soil beneath it, it will create healthier new trees. The new growth we will be adding to our forests will enhance our ecosystem, affecting the quality and amount of water we receive in our wells. Excess nutrients and sediments have led into and impaired our water for years, but studies show that planting new trees will not only improve the air we breathe, but it will lead to lower amounts of toxins in our water system. As it says in the article, supplies of water, one of the essentials of life, can be enhanced in many ways by forest restoration. Monitoring the effects of the water cycle with arid and semi-arid regions is most critical, because limited supplies have widespread and serious repercussions. Restoring trees would actually help the water flow, and the water we drink could be improved on. And not only will it stop toxins from entering our water, but will create healthier amounts of carbon dioxide. In Ishmael by Daniel Quinn, there was a quote that reads, "It's the idea that people living close to nature tend to be noble. It's seeing all those sunsets that does it. You can't watch a sunset and then go off and set fire to your neighbor's teepee. Living close to nature is a wonderful thing for your mental health." Ishmael makes the valid point that we can not just enjoy the pretty parts of our environment and damage it at the same time. It does not just work like that. When Ishmael says that being close to nature will improve your mental health, I can add that it will also improve your overall health with better oxygen and new, fresher water. If we did succeed with restoring forests, wildlife would thrive and our water systems would be at an all-time high, creating a new way of getting fresher water. Both Quinn and the RIR acknowledge that living close to nature is a wonderful thing for your mental health, but it will also enhance one of the essentials of life. The next step in this process would be to think about planting new growth, leading to a healthier ecosystem. And not only have groups like the RIR been finding solutions to fix our forests, but people like Willie Smith, a biologist who has been testing this theory for years, has proven that this will work. Willie Smith studied orangutans and the way our ecosystem flows for his whole life, believes he has found a new way to regrow clear-cut rainforests in Borneo. By doing this, the biologist believes he will be able to restore fragile ecosystems. In a TED Talk, Willie Smith explains all of the ways restoring our forests will help restore our ecosystem. Willie Smith announces that over 1,000 orangutans are in his sanctuary, but that is not a good thing, and this represents the lack of concern humans have had for our environment and how it is slowly destroying these homes of innocent animals. As Ishmael says, everyone in your culture knows this. Man was born to turn the world into paradise, but tragically he was born flawed. And so, his paradise has always been spoiled by stupidity, greed, destructiveness, and short-sightedness. Ishmael is referring to the takers in our society when he refers to the fact that humans think that we were born to flip our planet into something beautiful. I would refer to Willie Smith as one of the few leavers in society actually willing to make a change. Willie Smith started his project in the Samboja Lizardi area with a field of grass. Smith says that not even an insect could be heard. It was dead silent. Willie Smith made it his mission to expand greatly and create a new environment for the people and animals in this town by restoring the rainforest. Skipping to 4 years later now, Smith says that the effect of the restoration of this rainforest are huge. Over 3,000 new people who were originally in poverty now have jobs in this area. There is no more flooding, no more fires. There is a huge biodiversity with over 1,000 different types of tree species now, 137 new bird species, and 30 species of reptiles. Willie Smith has accomplished what most biologists only dream of, creating an entirely new ecosystem and opportunities just by restoring an area of rainforest. Not only did this help the wildlife thrive, but it also helped the people in the town just by planting a few trees. Both Quinn and Smith proved that the takers, were born with flaws. And we could find a solution if we take a step back and think with more of a lever mindset. The next thing we could do to restore our forests would be to stop the drastic amount of trees we are currently cutting down each year, and this would help us maintain a healthy ecosystem leading to lower captivity rates and more opportunities for species to evolve. We currently cut down 5 billion trees a year, and this is not only destroying habitats for animals, but it is also stunting evolution. By stopping the amount of tree chopping around the world, we can also start a whole new type of evolution within our ecosystem. By looking at a chapter out of Born to Run, it is easy to see just how much mankind has developed over time. If we just take a minute to think about this, and how much our environment has affected the development of humans. As it says in Born to Run, species evolve according to what they are good at, not at what they are bad at. Born to Run offered a new question that I had never thought of before. What would happen if we were unable to evolve because of the poor conditions in our environment? Today, with all of our poor habitats that species are forced to live in, and at the same time their homes are being destroyed, leads off to the dying of species, and no chance to evolve any further. In the novel Ishmael by Daniel Quinn, Ishmael says, "In Africa I was a member of a family, of a sort of family that the people of your culture haven't known for 1,000 years. If gorillas were capable of such an expression, they would tell you that they have a family, and it's like a hand, of which there are 5 fingers. They are fully aware of being a family, but are very little aware of being individuals. Here in the zoo, there were other gorillas, but there was no family. 5 severed fingers do not make a hand." Ishmael was subjected to captivity and separation from his family because of the poor environment he was living in. If we were able to improve our ecosystem, it would also lower captivity rates because there would be more room for species to live and evolve. Think of what our wildlife would be like and evolve into if only we gave them the proper home. And there is a simple solution to this. It is simply to restore the forests. Both McDougall and Quinn make the connection that the destroying of our forests are severing the 5 fingers of family, and that species evolve at what they are good at, and in the end, that is all dependent of the environment that we give them. Finally, if you take a look at all these issues I have pointed out that relate back to the restoration of the forest and all of the evidence and facts I have gathered, I can offer a solution. If we keep on reducing the amount of trees we cut down and regrowing new trees while keeping the dead ones to rot and enrich the soil, we will be able to achieve the goal of forest restoration. I suggest a new law, and this law can be used in townships all over the world, and it is not difficult to put into use. If you are going to cut down a tree in a local forest, you must have to replant 3 new saplings right where you cut the old tree down. There will be preset spots with little growth that will be marked by flags. In order to prove that you have done this task, after you cut down your tree, and find an area marked by a red flag and replant your saplings, you must bring the flag to a township official. This will ensure that there will be an incline in tree growth, which is the main point of reforestation. In conclusion, from reading the novel Ishmael by Daniel Quinn, I was able to see just how much we needed to do to fix our current state of the planet. As the narrator finds out, there is not just one solution to the maddening destruction we are causing to our world, but there are many things we can do to help find a solution. Ishmael represents the effects of being locked away from humanity, as he describes the lever and taker mentality of our world. Ishmael has been kept in captivity just like the orangutans Willie Smith was talking about in his TED Talk. Ishmael was obviously scarred and mentally disturbed by the captivity he had been kept in over time, and it was driving him mad. Just like the article about RIR, it proves that the conditions of our ecosystem affect our environment and the capability of wildlife. Just like the other monkeys Willie Smith was talking about, Ishmael was in captivity because of the poor conditions the humans had subjected them to. This is yet another example of how wildlife is unable to function without a proper ecosystem. It all comes down to just one thing. Both humans and animals could benefit from a better ecosystem, and we can start by restoring forests, which will lead to a whole new type of living.